Hello, friends, and welcome back to the shop. Sorry about the. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the shop. Today is Sunday, August 31st, last day of August, Labor Day weekend. Remind me to say something about that. And yeah, beautiful morning here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Absolutely beautiful. It was in the 50s when I got up this morning. I think the high today is going to be in the mid 70s. I love this kind of weather. I really do. And got some outdoor stuff planned for today, outdoor work, but all good stuff. And yeah, so enjoying some old Joe Krantz in my doodler, one of my doodlers. Great pipes. Uh, a bit gimmicky in terms of the cooling thing and all that, but it doesn't impact on the smokability at all. I mean, this is the kind of a gimmick I like. It's external. It's more decorative than anything. And I changed the lighting a little bit because I want to show you some stuff, and we'll see if that works. But I'm afraid that it's going to highlight the smoke too much, and you're not going to be able to see me through most of this. Okay, so we're already off track. That's good. Labor Day weekend. Let me get to that first. So is this Labor Day weekend? Because Labor Day is on Monday. So Labor Day actually belongs to next week. Well, this week actually, because this week starts on Sunday. But this isn't the end of the week. This is the beginning of the week. So really, Labor Day weekend should be next weekend. I'm concerned about that. I might have to write a letter, or maybe I'll just do nothing. Sometimes I get stuck on this stuff. It's like when you hear a word and you suddenly realize the word means something. And of course, I cannot think of a single example now. Um, ah, Inspiration uh, is connected to words like respiration, spiration, spirit moving in and out of you. So you're re-spiriting yourself when you respire. When you're inspired, the spirit comes into you. Things like that sometimes just strike me, and I'll spend an inordinate amount of time thinking about it, like no one's ever had that thought before. And I'm sure people are going to tell me the reason why this is Labor Day weekend, not next weekend, and I probably can guess. I'm just sharing my mental problems with you, which is what this channel is all about. So got a couple things that want to catch you up on. Well, one big thing I want to catch you up on, and that is my brother. Those of you that have been following for a while know that my brother is ill and has been ill for about a year now, and we didn't get the best news from the doctors this week, well, last week. Uh, yes, I don't want to go into too many details because you never know who's watching, but basically, I'd like to ask for prayers for him. Not healing prayers, but prayers of comfort and peace, and the same for the family around him. It's going to be needed in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, so that's happening, and you know, it's hard. It's definitely hard, but at the same time, there's always blessings in disguise. He's fighting hard, and I've mentioned before that he's autistic and perfectly conversational, just a little non-social. And you have to draw him out, and you have to talk about things he's interested in, or else you just don't have a conversation. Uh, because of that, he's not going to process things necessarily. So that's the reason why I'm not going into too many details right now, because again, you never know who's watching. So, prayers, please. They mean a lot to me, and they really do help. And I keep all of you in prayer. Sometimes specifics, and sometimes just in general. because you're part of my life. So, and I appreciate every one of you. All right, so enough about that. Let me get into some other stuff. Got to spend a fair amount of time down here yesterday, which was nice. And I've been working. I didn't bring them over, so I can't show you, but I've been working on some of those spatulas that I made last year. You might remember I made a whole batch of them as Christmas presents, and not just the past Christmas, but I guess it was Christmas 2023. I made one for my wife, and she said, "Oh, could you make some for family members?" I said, "Sure." How many? It was 14. Well, it started off with like 8, and then I'd get 2 done, and she'd say, "Oh, could you make another one for him?" So in the end, I made 14 of them, plus the one I made for her. So it's 15. And then a friend got in touch, a close family friend that I've known for a long time, and they really liked theirs, and they wanted to know if I could make 2 for their children, their adult children. And I said, yeah, of course I'll do that for you. And so I'm finally getting to the shaping part, and I realized that I have no memory of how I did this. It's funny how quickly things fly out of your head. But spent quite a bit of time, made good progress. I got one to the point where I just have to do hand sanding, and the second one needs a little bit more shaping before I can do the hand sanding. Also, since last we spoke, I've done some more pipe work, and a lot of people were interested in that. So I'm not trying to show off here. I don't think there's anything spectacular here, but I'm happy with it, and I know other folks like seeing it. So please don't think I'm, look at me, look what I did. It's just I'm just sharing my life with you. So I completed number 5. I think I showed it to you in its unstained state last week. I can't remember where I was with that, but it is now final in terms of being all polished and fully stained and everything. Well, obviously fully stained if it's polished, and I'm pretty happy with this. Now keep in mind, this isn't the best briar, so there's some inclusions and things like that, and the grain isn't perfect, but I'm going for shape and finish right now. And this is what I've come up with, and hopefully that's going to show up okay. Like I said, I rearranged the lighting a little bit for this. Probably not. I can't get a light direct. There we go. You can see some of the grain there. So the contrast has really picked up well, I think. And nice acrylic stem. Sorry, I'm looking off that way because I got a big monitor that shows me what you're seeing. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. The overall shape, I could probably do a little bit more in here, and I got to work on that. That's something that before I took my long break, I was working on, and then I kind of forgot to work on it on this one. So, number 5 of 10. We're getting there. And we're definitely getting there because here is the beauty that is number 6. Obviously very, very early on in the process, but this one's going to have an ebonite stem. It's a little bit shorter. Quite a bit shorter, actually. Shorter block. So keeping the stem and the bowl shank proportions the same, so it shrinks the size of the pipe. It will have a shorter bowl as well. Trying to keep everything to classic proportions. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So number 6 is in the works. But right now I'm in spatula mode. So we'll get those done and then we'll get back to number 6. Yeah, so that's been fun. That's been keeping me busy, keeping my mind off of things that I need my mind kept off of. And I had another bit of a surprise this week. I went out to work on, I believe it was Thursday morning. Got in the car. Car's been running so well. Just, I took it to Columbus, no problem. It's just been great. I'm so happy. I love that car. Got in the car Thursday morning and turned the key and it cranked, but it would not catch. It would not start. And I tried and tried, and I got to the point where I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to kill the battery. I better stop. Took the wife's car to work, and on Saturday, yesterday, My plan was to have it towed to the local shop over here because I tried everything I could think of to get it started, and uh, I was pretty convinced that it was a fuel problem, and I thought it probably needed either the fuel filter changed or a fuel pump. I could technically do both of those, but I looked at it, looked at some videos of people doing it, found it. I know where the fuel pump is and everything. It's not hard to get to because it's actually under the rear seat, but it just was more involved than anything I wanted to do on a Saturday because I had to get it done. I had to have the car for Monday. So my plan was to have AAA come out and tow it over to the shop, and they came out, and the guy said, "You want me to try to start it?" I said, "Yeah, sure, if you want." And so he tries, and he says, "Yeah, it sounds like it's not getting fuel." Okay. And he tries, and he just like, of course he can do this because he doesn't have to worry about the battery. He could just tow it. So he really, really kept it going, and then all of a sudden it just caught, and a big cloud of fairly heavy white smoke came out of the tailpipe that was unusual for the car. And revved it a little bit, and it ran for a minute or two, and then he turned it off, and he said, it was just your fuel line. You got some bad gas. And interestingly enough, I had filled up on Wednesday evening at a station that I don't usually go to. It was just more convenient than the one I usually go to. Was the gas bad? I don't know. Could have been an air bubble in the line. It could have been, during the trip back and forth to Columbus, I went to many gas stations I don't normally go to. So maybe I picked something up there, and it wasn't until I got to a low tank before I filled up that it could be anything. But it was running. I said, "You think it's going to start again?" And he turned the key, started right up. And so he left. And I went, and he recommended that I get some uh, gas additive and put it in just to help get rid of the problem. So I did a few things, and then I got in the car and I drove it over to the auto store, which is not very far from here. And I put the booster in the startup, and it's running great. Everything's fine. And I said, well, I need an oil change, and I've already got an appointment at the shop because I let them know that the car was going to be dropped off. So why don't I just pull in and get an oil change? So I did that. I know the guy in the shop, so it was no problem to switch to the oil change. And we chatted for a while, and then I walked home. It's just a couple blocks away. And about an hour later, he calls me and he says, "Well, you need a new battery." And we found out that these three lights are out on the car. I'm like, oh gosh. So that was pricey. I had no idea how expensive batteries had got. And yeah, but anyway, it needed to be done, and it makes sense to me because the last problem I had with this car was kind of a catastrophic failure of the alternator that led to the car just shutting down while I was driving. And I know the battery was completely drained, which is not good for these batteries. And it was about a 5-year-old battery that was replaced, so it makes sense. But geez, thought I was getting off easy with a $15 can of gas additive, and I wasn't. Such is life, right? Life is not easy, and it gets, I believe, less easy as you get older because more and more obstacles wind up being put in your path. I shouldn't say being put in your path, but they appear. Um, you get older, you start to have problems, health problems. The people that you know, the people that you looked up to, are gone. That's an odd feeling sometimes when I think about it. How many people, like sometimes I'll do something and I'll think, oh, this person would be proud of that, and then I can't tell them because they're gone. Or I think I'd like to get some advice on this thing and realize that everybody that I would have typically gone to for that is gone. And then friends start to go, family members, and it kind of puts things into perspective on the one hand, but it just also adds difficulty. Uh, you get more responsibilities. You start to be responsible for older family members or for sometimes younger family members. Uh, the time, there's a time probably from about the age, well, from a very early age up until about maybe 18, depending on your work ethic and such, where you've got more freedom than you're ever going to have again in your life. And I, I keep thinking, well, we'll get over this hump and then, nah, it never ends. It just never ends. Life always has something around the corner for you. But why is that a good thing? It's a good thing because it makes us value what we have. And that's important. We really do need to not lose track of the fact that we're very fortunate, no matter our circumstances. If you're breathing, you're fortunate. You might not be as fortunate as someone else, but you still got life. You're still alive. So make the most of it. Make the most of every day, every minute. Because you don't know what challenges are coming tomorrow, and you don't know whether or not you're going to be around to face those challenges. And that, of course, isn't just true for older folk. So on that happy note, I'm gonna probably do a little bit of work on those spatulas later today, but I got some yard work I want to do. Just basic cleanup and stuff, nothing too major, but it's a really nice day to spend out there. So I'm gonna get off to that, and I will let you get off to your Sunday right after I drink some coffee. I hope you have a fantastic Sunday. Happy Labor Day tomorrow. Enjoy it if you're in the U.S. and you've got the day off. It's a day to celebrate the fact that we work by not working. So it's a good thing. Enjoy it. I will. And obviously, scheduling is going to be a bit odd in the coming weeks. So we'll see how things go. Keep an eye on my community page for posts. If you're not subscribed, and alert bells and all that stuff, do it so that you'll know, because my hope is to have a Friday night live stream, and my hope is to be back here next Sunday. Assuming the Friday night live stream does go forward, we will do the tobacco of the month because it's the first Friday of September. So looking forward to that. And yeah, just I'll keep you posted as life continues to develop. So with that, my friends, take care of yourself. And until we speak again, I'll look forward to talking to you all again very soon. Goodbye now.